What is up, YouTube? Hope you guys having a wonderful day. I wanted to stop by and make this very important and informative video that I don't really hear a lot, or even gun tubers or influencers ever want to talk about. Because whether you want to believe it or not, when you come onto the internet space and you hear about guns, all you hear is about accessories, tactics, and history about firearms. Oh, and the fact that every chance that the ATF gets, they're trying to take your gun rights away, or somebody's violated by the ATF. All these pop-up thumbnails, they're trying to like fear monger you into buying all the guns so you go broke, and so on and so on. But let's get right to it. One of the things that I've noticed, like I was saying before, is that nobody ever wants to support stock handguns, or even want to tell you that a stock handgun, and if not, is good enough. I mean, better or good enough in any type of everyday carry situation. What got me thinking about this subject and topic was the fact that I had just got done doing my armed guard shooting certification. And I was asking my instructor, like, hey, are comps or ported guns, disqualification, excuse me, a disqualification or a restriction? And he was mentioning, like, in the eye of the court of the law, they would it's going to be used against you because it's considered a modification. So I decided just to use my Glock 23 stock barrel, stock slide, just everything stock, except I had a light on it, but that's not really considered a modification, more of an enhancement. So, you know, I passed out of 93%. So I missed like 7 shots. And, it was pretty easy. It was like 3, 5, 7, 10, 15 yards, center mass. Anybody could do it. So nothing to brag about. But that thought and the realization that most police departments and officers here in America are trained and only use stock handguns. The only time you ever like hear about modified guns is either by a criminal who got like a switch on a Glock, a competition shooter who needs a compensator to keep his shots flat and accurate and fast as possible with his modified trigger, but as we call them, race guns. And I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna assume special operators in the military use modified guns. And when I say modified, I'm saying like special features that are not allowed, that civilians can own or even obtain unless they have like a military or federal, you know, I would say background for them to have that, item on their firearm. So yeah. And I also went down a rabbit hole of like what would it be like in a shooting scenario with no ear protection, shooting a compensator or a micro comp or ports. And from what I've seen consistently is what they're saying is for the drawbacks of, shooting with a comp or a port without ear protection is the fact that it's much louder and you have a higher chance of, losing your hearing in that situation. Even though, you're shooting accurately, your follow-up shots are perfect, but you ain't got no hearing. So, just put that in a scenario. You survive your self-defense situation, and now you're in the courtroom with 0 to none hearing. And you gotta hear the judge, you gotta talk to the lawyer. Like your freedom is on the line and your hearing is like almost gone. And there's also like, nah, I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna, throw that out there. Because whether you want to believe it or not, murder is murder. There's justification and there's no justification. So yeah. And I gotta like, reevaluate my whole collection of handguns, and I got to thinking, I'm like, damn, like what other guns besides my 23 that are considered stock? And I realized that I have three handguns that are considered stock because I mean, I don't know, man. Like I just go down a rabbit hole of like trying out like new things and trying to see what is considered flat shooting and what is like, accurate. Most people would say flat shooting would be like shooting a 22 recoil impulse out of like, 45 or 40 if possible. I don't know, but I'm still working on this to see how flat it is. Stay tuned. And I got also this 22. Unfortunately, it's ported, so probably gonna get a new slide for that. And then I got this Radiant Ramjet. I haven't shot yet, but I'm having high hopes like what it's gonna do. So, but for the most part, if you think about it, you don't really need a modified handgun as an everyday carry. It's really more of a range toy or a competition shooter if you want to, use it, because everything is really backed up by your training and what type of ammunition you use. So, it don't really matter. I feel like 9 and 40, 45 are really great calibers, and if you want to, you can go to 10 mil. But I just think that's just overkill since it was designed for bears, and I'm just going, thinking what the DA is gonna say. Like, what the hell is wrong with you carrying a 10 mil when it's designed for, a man eater? So, but like I was saying before, nobody ever wants to talk about, what's practical in this reality that we live in, and that we have to worry about the system, you know, believing us or not. Because something I also took a heart to was that each bullet you fire is a lawyer coming out of that bullet. So, I don't, I'm not, promoting violence. I'm really more promoted for training, because training is really the only thing that's gonna not, let you down, because it's really up to you at that situation. How much time did you dry fire? How much time did you practice drawing your handgun from the waistband? How much time have you got familiar with your weapon manipulation when it comes to jams, magazine inserts, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, I just want to stop by and talk about that. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys later.